gere, mamuona gere nai. Anovura meso, anovura nzeve, anokaya marigi.
Right, 1 October 2023, and today I'm joined by my usual guest on Sundays, Mr. Tinashe Jonas. How are you, sir?
Fine, and you, and an honor to be a guest on your platform.
Okay, fantastic. And today we have a very, very interesting topic, and this is with regards to the current situation in Zimbabwe. The situation has taken a new turn. This week, the Sadak Troika met in Zambia, and the preliminary report that we're talking about has been finalized. What are your comments on the outcomes of the Sadak Troika in Zambia?
My comment is simple. This country's leadership is not in the hands of Sadak. It's in the hands of Zimbabwean voters. And the Zimbabwean voters decided who they want in terms of the party and who they want in terms of the presidential leadership. So anything else is a side show.
Okay, so there are many implications of what has happened at Sadak, and one of the implications is that Zimbabwe is right now considered to be a country with a disputed leadership. Do you agree that Zimbabwe is considered to have a disputed leadership?
By who?
By the international community, which is the Sadak, the EU, the AU, all those people who send observers here. They consider that Zimbabwe is a disputed leadership.
Okay. Let me say this. People who create a dispute, how do we measure a dispute? We measure an election dispute by the results in the councils and in parliament. If in parliament we have got a hung parliament, meaning there's no party with an outright majority to pass bills, and in the councils, then there's a need of whether you call it a general GNU or whatever. In Zimbabwe, our outcome pronounces Comrade Mnangagwa as the president of the country for the next 5 years. Our election outcome pronounced the ZANU-PF as the party with an outright majority in parliament. Now, this dispute, when if it's announced by any international community, those people are not stakeholders in the Zimbabwean elections. They were not participants in terms of being candidates. They were not voters. They were not an electoral governing body, that is ZEC. Our election system is run by ZEC, and then candidates and voters. Full stop. Any other person outside of those three is a non-starter and we don't consider that person. So this obsession within the international community, whether it's Sadak, whether it's UN, it's unfounded because they are not stakeholders. They don't change any electoral outcomes of this country.
Okay, let's go to ZEC. What has been ZEC's comment after the release of the Sadak's final report?
I don't know their comment, but they are not forced to comment because ZEC's duty is to pronounce the final election results. Full stop. Their job ends there. They can't create a commenting room to all media houses, locally, internationally, international bodies. Then ZEC will end up being the Minister of Information in this country.
Okay, so you are saying both President Mnangagwa and ZEC, they don't have to respond after the Sadak's final report. After such a high-level international organization, he said the election was not free and fair.
President Mnangagwa's presidency was not endorsed by Sadak because the only endorsement that would put him in office was of Zimbabwean voters. I don't know. I think when it's like when someone even fails, when someone fails or fails of O level, they can blame the teacher, they can blame the situation at home. A sole loser would create a hope and faith in things that doesn't matter. It's only in Zimbabwe. Elections in the US, in UK, you don't hear them talking about the European Union, about any other body. They announce their results, they congratulate each other, they are done. It's only in Zimbabwe that we should discuss about Sadak and the Carter Foundation, whatever it is. And we have got self-hate. We don't like ourselves, we don't like our country, we don't like our institutions, we don't love anything Zimbabwe. We would rather stumble on UN, stumble on Commonwealth, stumble on Sadak, and we roller skate outside the country. We don't want to be inside Zimbabwe.
Okay, let's go to President Mnangagwa. I want to play a small clip of what he said this week, and then I'll ask you my next question.
Now that the harmonized elections are behind us, we should not be distracted by the leader of the main opposition, who remains stuck in the past, while both Zimbabwe and the region are moving into the future. His call for an election rerun is a pipe dream. The earlier he realizes that it is better for himself and his opposition party.
Okay, let's quickly move forward on what President Mnangagwa said. He doesn't want a rerun. He doesn't want all this questioning of the elections. What is next? What is President Mnangagwa going to do now?
I want to correct your statement. President Mnangagwa doesn't have power to institute a rerun or any election results. Remember, in our just ended the harmonized the national elections, President Mnangagwa was merely a presidential candidate, subjecting himself to the processes and the rules and the regulations of ZEC. So now, to give him those powers, he doesn't have the powers to change electoral outcomes. He was given the powers by the voters through ZEC. So it's not his decision that there must be a rerun or not. And any dialogue of him between him and any other person, whether Chamisa or not, will never have the powers to subvert the constitution of this country.
Okay, but he's speaking about the rerun. He has heard Chamisa speaking, and he said there's no rerun. It means he is not considering it, but he has heard what Chamisa wants.
Thank you. Remember, ED is a lawyer. So he knows the laws, he understands the constitution of Zimbabwe. As a president, his duty is to make sure that the constitution of Zimbabwe is implemented. So he is commenting basing on the dictates of the constitution. A rerun is done when there's no outright winner. He is an outright winner. 50. So now to say that he doesn't like a rerun, he is commenting as someone who is an officer of the court.
Okay, so what is next? What is President Mnangagwa going to do now? The international community is not in support of Zimbabwe's after the election. There is no support for ZANU-PF and the Zimbabwe government.
Thank you so much for saying there's no support. The question is that ZANU-PF exists as a party because of international community. The same international community is what gets birth to the government of Zimbabwe through ZANU-PF going to the bushes to fight the colonial imperialism, which is branded now international community. It's imperialism, it's colonialism. that are now called international community, those were the enemies of black excellence. Those and are still enemies of us, and will be the enemies of Zimbabwe. We are so-called independent and free, but they're exploiting us. And I'm sitting here talking about Zimbabwe, and Mr. Gabagwa is talking about the national community. I won't be tempted to say Mr. Gabagwa is captured, but the point is, the real point is, can we talk about Zimbabwe? And
okay,
talk about
let's talk about Zimbabwe. Let's talk about Zimbabwe.
Yes.
Young people are despondent. They're unhappy about the ZANU-PF government. There is unhappiness across the country about what has happened. What is the template that President Mnangagwa is going to use to implement his plans? Let's go to the two key documents that President Mnangagwa is using. That is the NDS-1 and the 2018 ZANU-PF manifesto. Are you familiar with these documents?
Can you remove the 2018, because the ZANU-PF is no longer using any manifesto. If you want to read the manifesto of ZANU-PF, you drive around the country, you walk around the country. If you see a new dam built, a clinic, you see a new road, that's the manifesto of ZANU-PF.
Okay, let's go to NDS-1.
Yeah, the projects on the ground are the literaries or our manifesto. So we are no longer like Triple C. They've got a manifesto which is a beautiful promises. ZANU-PF has got a project which are life-changing on the ground.
Okay, but NDS-1 is not a ZANU-PF document. That's the document that President Mnangagwa has put in place from 2022 to 2025.
All right. Let me
if you look at NDS-1, right?
Let me correct you. We'll go to that step.
Yeah.
Comrade Mnangagwa, when in the government of Zimbabwe, he becomes His Excellency, is a deployee and a messenger of ZANU-PF to implement ZANU-PF programs. And the government of Zimbabwe is formed their policy by ZANU-PF. So the government of Zimbabwe is ZANU-PF.
Okay, I agree with that. But ZANU-PF does not have a manifesto. So if you look at the National Delivery Strategy 1, that was presented by President Mnangagwa in his first term.
Yeah.
And the first thing there was the Transitional Stabilization Program. There were a lot of promises in that strategy. None of those strategies will work without the support of the region, without the support of the locals, without the support of the international community. How is President Mnangagwa going to implement all these things that he's promised here?
Let me tell you that I think he has been messed up by these fake prophets who comes to this platform. But I'll forgive you. You are now in the channel of prophets of doom. Let me tell you the reality. Transitional Stabilization Program, TSP, has worked wonders because it was more of power stabilization, food security. There was Fumvudza. As I speak to you right now, I will just mention one thing in terms of food security. We are the biggest wheat producers in the world right now. So if that is alone is part of what you say, TSP will never work without international community. International community, biggest wheat producers has been Ukraine and Russia. Zimbabwe is now a major player. In terms of power generation, we are now power secure, facing problems there and there in terms of our aging infrastructure. We are now dealing with infrastructure of power, unlike shortage of power. In terms of infrastructure, you know, there is the Churundu Bainbridge Road, you know, our border post at Bainbridge. Now we are working on the Harare Nyamapanda, sorry, border. We are working so many dams, Kunzi, whatsoever. I can't mention all the programs. The interchange, Baishagani, the green belt from Zambezi to Blawayo. I mean, there are so many projects which are being implemented. The oxygen plant in Mutare, we launched the Zimset one into the space. Now we have got $400 million budget for Zimset 2. There are so many things we can talk about. Fuel stabilization. You talk about the you go to the bank now, you get your money. All these projects, they don't need the US. We don't need the European Union. Why Zimbabwe needs the approval of other countries? Does America need the approval of Zimbabwe? Have you ever seen the Zimbabwe, the US Senate calling the Zimbabwean government for an endorsement? Why do we need to call US for endorsement? To hell with America, to hell with Europe.
Okay, but I want to take you to the reality on the ground. Most of President Mnangagwa's projects, he has not managed to deliver. Let me take you through what I'm talking about. If you go to NDS1, there is housing, human capital, right? I'm going through the document here. Health and well-being, image building, international engagement and re-engagement. There is devolution and decentralization, cost cutting. There is, let's go to the next one here, monitoring and evaluation. So all these things that I've mentioned here, President Mnangagwa has failed to deliver on this. Housing, they have not delivered the housing that they said they're going to deliver. They have not managed to engage the international community. Wait, let's
go one by one. The first one is housing.
Yeah.
If you were in Zimbabwe, I was going to introduce you first to in Madokero. We have got flats built by the Public Service Commission that are beautiful, very beautiful. Now they're building others in Shabane. I will talk about. I'll point out at Bedbridge border post. There's a compound for workers at the border. Beautiful, not only modern infrastructures. We have got a housing project which was launched by our Minister for Defense, Comrade Opam Chinguri in Varesekwa. There are so many housing units across the country. That's why I'm saying fake prophets who infest Gabakwe media have made you a prophet of doom. Now let's go to the second item.
Okay, we haven't finished with housing.
No.
Because okay, Mr. Jonas, I want you to understand something.
Wait. Are you going to deny that there's a housing compound? Wait. Are you going to deny that there's a beautiful housing compound at Bedbridge border post?
But that's not the target that President Mnangagwa set for himself. He set himself a target.
Wait. Are you going to deny that, or are you going to confirm it?
Yeah, but that thing was built by President Mugabe.
So now I will pray for you. Let's go to the second item.
That is not President Mnangagwa. That is President Mugabe who built that thing. And then President Mnangagwa finished it. Yeah. So what I'm saying to you is he is completing the project that was started by Mugabe. We have national delivery NDS1 here. And it's got numbers that says how many houses you're supposed to build. President Mnangagwa has not managed to deliver the houses that he said he's going to deliver. He has not managed to deliver access to housing finance. Your self-existence right now, you don't have a farm, you don't have a house from the government.
Wait. How many houses did the Comrade Mnangagwa promise?
It's probably over 480,000 houses.
Okay, how many were built so far?
Less than 1,000. Easy.
Do you know for sure? Do you know for sure, or you are guessing?
I am telling you for sure that besides the projects that we've mentioned, let me mention the projects for you. The Bedbridge, the NAST, the Madokero one you've mentioned, and the one that they just recently opened in, I think it was in Glenview. These are little flats that they've done. They've not done projects. There is nothing now. If you in 1980, there are suburbs in Bulawayo like in Kulumani and Keta, which were built by President Mugabe. They are massive, humongous housing projects. President Mnangagwa has not managed to do that. In fact, President Mnangagwa has failed to formalize the ZANU-PF projects where they gave title deeds, there is not a single housing project that has got water, that has got proper roads right now as we speak. Do you agree that the projects of ZANU-PF are shambolic, even among the ZANU-PF members?
Okay, before I comment on that, can you tell me one project which was done by Triple C?
Triple C is not in government.
Oh, is it not an organization? Okay, yourself, if you build something, let's say you donate even to your family or to your neighbor, who is not allowed? Is opposition not allowed to help with the poor?
I'm not talking about opposition. I'm talking about the man who is in power. He's got a strategy that he's set out to do. Right now, he's in office. He is supposed to deliver. Has he delivered on these things that he said in NDS 1?
Okay. Let's go to item 2. Housing, I already gave you examples. I can't mention all the programs. I need a list because they are countless. Let's go to item 2. Housing, I gave you examples.
Let's go to employment creation. How many jobs has the Mnangagwa government created?
A good question. Although I don't have that at hand, but I will give you sectors that were almost doomed during your hero, Comrade Robert Mugabe's tenure. Yeah. Right now, if you are in Zimbabwe, unfortunately, you are not. Garages, service stations. Not only are they are coming up almost everywhere, but world standard service stations are all over the place in Zimbabwe, and they come with a shop. They come with they are massively creating jobs. The second sector of restaurants, I will just mention Harare. KFC from South Africa is all over. Nando's from South Africa. We do have our local chicken slice and chicken in. They are competing all over the place. And we have got mining. President Mnangagwa promised almost 12 billion economy for mining. I can tell you that we are over 10 billion right now. Mining is all over. Lithium. There are so many people, Zimbabwean people, who are playing, we are getting into mining. You know, the Manise is still being planned there. Massive project, which is fully operational. I won't mention all the mines that are being, we know even in Mazoe there we have discovered oil gas. I don't need to, I need to read a full list. I'm just going to give you examples. You won't deny that our mining sector is booming right now. And to then imagine that you have got friends or relatives who are into mining right now. To then imagine that every mining that is commissioned, that is operational in Zimbabwe, it's only the owner. I don't understand that. There's a lot of job creation in this country.
Let me tell you what the problem is, Mr. Jonas. President Mnangagwa has given numbers in NDS 1. And I want to always go to NDS 1. There is 1 million people employed formally in Zimbabwe currently. And President Mnangagwa said he's going to increase that number by 24% by 2025. Which means that he was going to create at least 250,000 jobs. As we speak, the number of jobs have decreased. They've not increased under President Mnangagwa, which means he's not met his employment targets. Do you agree with that?
It has decreased to what?
Probably reduced by more than 25%. People have lost jobs ever since President Mnangagwa got into office. They've not gained jobs. Which big project do you know that has created 250,000 jobs?
I'm happy you are saying probably by. You are using perhaps probably. And speaking with authority and in the negative lane. How do you blame someone without any proper correct statistics? Let me tell you this. You are playing into the opposition narratives of blaming anything ZANU-PF, anything Zimbabwe without facts. You must agree with me that you don't have facts. everything is probably less than 1,000. Probably like this. You are just wishing and imagining, bashing a Zimbabwean. I told you that we have got a problem of self-hate. We would rather see a hero in Sadak, in HH, whose country is going in flames in terms of inflation and everything. We'll see a hero in America. We'll see a hero in Europe. It's self-hate. Anyone who is Zimbabwean must be wrong, must be incompetent, must be failing. That is a serious problem in this country. I see Zimbabwe media as a good media because it's owned by a Zimbabwean. The reason I come here with pride is because you are a Zimbabwean. Whether your editorial policy is anti-Zambia or is anti-government, I don't look at that. Because it's a high time Zimbabweans, we hold hands, hug each other, and kiss each other, and encourage each other.
Okay, we want to be fair. President Mnangagwa has had more than 7 years in office. And you are saying President Mnangagwa has got a plan. He wants to take us forward. I am showing you that President Mnangagwa does not have a plan.
Wait, calculate the 7 years. I'm listening.
From 2017 to date, he was president, right?
2017, which month?
November.
So would you count 2017 as a year?
Okay, let's say he's got 6 years. Tell us what years, President Mnangagwa.
6 years counting from what?
From 2017. He completed President Mnangagwa's term.
Wait. 2017, you say November. That means it was only a month. That's not a year.
Okay. Do you get the point that I'm trying to give you? President Mnangagwa has had ample opportunity to fix this economy.
Wait.
He has been given a chance.
How many years has he been a president?
Okay, let's say he's been president for 5 years and 2 months. He's had enough opportunity. Don't say let us say 5 years. 5 years, right? He's had 5 years. He has been given ample opportunity.
And 5 years.
President Hakainde Hichilema has only been president in Zambia for 2 years, and Zambia is booming. 5 years
minus 3 years of COVID. No problem. When you say Zambia is booming, what do you mean?
I was in Zambia less than 3 months ago. Everything's working.
And then
the ATMs are working. Employment is up. Construction is up. Houses in Zambia. Go to Gambakwe Media. I've got a video there of construction around Lusaka. It's amazing, that place. Zimbabwean students. Let me explain this point because I want you to hear what I'm saying. There are 10,000 Zimbabwean students studying at Zambian university, private universities. President Mnangagwa has not managed to create any universities that will attract students from regional countries like Zambia and so forth. It's expensive to do anything in Zimbabwe. People are leaving Zimbabwe to go and live in Zambia. You cannot compare what is happening in Zimbabwe and Zambia. Zambia is doing well. Zimbabwe is not.
Okay. Can you tell me the Zambian GDP right now?
It's not about GDP. I'm talking about standard of living. GDP is calculated at a higher level.
So when you say the economy is booming, because there are 10,000 Zimbabweans in Zambia.
How many Zambians are there in Zimbabwe?
Do you know that the so-called richest country in the world, which is called the US, is totally formed, is a state that was formed by immigrants from mainly the Latin America, Mexico, Argentina, and British and Africans who were free laborers there, sorry, the so-called slaves. Would you then say US economy is bad because it was formed by foreigners, immigrants who moved into that country? There is migration. there are Zimbabweans in certain countries, there are foreigners who are in Zimbabwe. Your so-called godfathers, the white people in Zimbabwe, were immigrants from US, from Europe. When the whites were in Zimbabwe, you don't say their countries are burning because they leave, they run away to Zimbabwe. When it was Rhodesia, you don't condemn that. Selective analysis only says to say you are pushing for a certain agenda. The world is formed around migration. Whether the person is a laborer, is a student, is an investor, that's why you flew to Zambia. Zambians are also flying to Zimbabwe. Mr. Gambakwe, you don't measure the economy of the country because of a number of students of a certain country in a certain country. There are so many Zambians who died a few days ago in protest of a biting economy. And I know you ignore that. In Zambia,
okay.
your so-called heaven, a former president is arrested for jogging. And that is fine with you. If it was in Zimbabwe, people will say persecution, they will say human rights, democracy is shrinking. And a former president is investigated for attending Comrade Mnangagwa's inauguration. And in
no, that's not true. It's because, no, that's not true. I don't want you to continue with that statement because that's not true.
No. In the same
and
Zambia,
we don't want to.
In the same Zambia, they are saying and Comrade Chiramasa would even plot to harm their president. Their former president, late president Mnangagwa, was killed by Zimbabwe. Hogwash and nonsensical stuff.
Okay, let me take us back to be on track. Housing delivery. President Mnangagwa has not delivered the numbers that he promised. Employment, he has not promised deliver the numbers that he promised. Let's go to healthcare.
No. Look, the housing, I already gave you examples. And you even said by 2025. I want you to understand that we are even 2 years before 2025. But
Jonas, you don't have a farm. You don't have a house. What is the plan for people like you? Are you going to get a house at Madokero? Who is going to get a house at Madokero?
Oh, so you want me to disclose whatever I in my possession?
I don't mean you. I mean someone like you, a young person who works in Zimbabwe. They're not going to get that house at Madokero. They're not going to get a flat at Bedbridge. Where is the project that President Mnangagwa has put in place for ordinary people? So
do you want the government to buy houses for people?
Yes, that's what he promised in NDS1. He said they're going to create 480,000 houses for ordinary people.
Wait. When the government is building those housing units for civil servants, obviously they are going to pay, but the payment is very kind to them. We don't have a government. A government must not create dependence syndrome in people or promote laziness. Every Zimbabwean must work hard to own whatever they own. You go to even to America, the richest country in the world, by whatever good standards, they are homeless people. So what are you talking about?
I'm talking about NDS1. NDS1 is the promise, the document.
Wait. You said by 2025, and you won't mention that we are not yet in 2025. You would then create a conclusive line, that baseline that he failed, but you are still agreeing that there's 2 years to go.
So you think in the next 2 years, President Mnangagwa is going to deliver 400,000 houses?
I don't think I'm not affected by fake prophets. I'm not a prophet. I wait for 2025 and say, Mr. Gambakwe, this is the target that the Comrade E.T. Was hoping to achieve against this number of houses delivered. Then we discuss the differences if he is not achieved. That is factual. But to blame him when his program is not yet completed, the timelines are not completed, that is to use the prophecy which has killed our nation. We are producing more prophets than the economic analysts and talented journalists. This phenomenon is creeping.
Do you know there's an organization called Prophets for ED?
Yes, yeah, and not only that, every sector of Zimbabwe there's I'm even wearing a many believe it, and you
so don't blame me for prophets. President Mnangagwa also has prophets, so we need to just move away from the fake prophets. The truth is that President Mnangagwa has not delivered, and he is probably not going to deliver. Look at healthcare. People are dying in Zimbabwe.
I like that.
Yeah.
I want to show you, to prove to you that you are pushing a triple C agenda. Number one, on Western agenda, you are saying from your only two statements, I will prove that you are pushing an agenda. Number one, you are saying President Mnangagwa is not delivered, and you put a full stop. The second statement says, and he is going to probably not deliver. These two statements are conflicting, because the first one is conclusive that he has failed, but the second one is prophesizing that he is probably not going to deliver. And from one man, and in less than 30 seconds, stop conflicting yourself to just bash President Mnangagwa. I said let us wait for 2025, and then we hold the targeted number of housing units to be delivered against the delivered. The difference is what we gonna put in a percentage, and measure is a percentage of success and failure. Wait for that 2025.
Okay, let's finish this up. Let's wrap this up, because if I try to go through NDS one, there is nothing there that has been delivered to my satisfaction. I don't know about you.
That's another statement. On what item? Pick another item.
Healthcare. Let's go to healthcare. How many maternity wards are there in Zimbabwe that are functional?
Thank you. Remember, you're not in Zimbabwe. I like my fellow comrades who parrot outside the country and lectures on what is happening in Zimbabwe. Instead of asking Mr. Jonas, can you update me what is happening back home? This prophecy phenomenon is killing us. All right, Mr. Prophet Gambakwe. I'll touch on the health sector. Now, number one, Zimbabwe produced a miracle through comrade, the retired general Chiwenga. Our results of the COVID-19, people thought President Mnangagwa was going to walk over dead bodies in Zimbabwe because the health sector is in shambles. Are you aware that in terms of percentage of death, we are better than the US? Find out. You are going to see that millions of Americans died during COVID-19. In terms of percentage, we outsmarted, we outplayed the US, which is considered one of the premier healthy, having a healthy system in the world. That's number one, COVID-19. Number two, we contracted an oxygen plant in Mutare. Zimbabwe is now exporting medical oxygen. And you know that during the COVID-19 era, oxygen was a necessity, was a key factor. Zimbabwe is now exporting in response to the crisis. Number three, are you aware that Lupane State Hospital is the biggest modernized in any capacity, in any department, the biggest hospital in Zimbabwe? Who would have even thought that deep down in Lupane, there will be a hospital bigger than Mupilo and Parenyatwa? That's decentralization. Are you aware that Zimbabwe entered a $400 million agreement with it's called what, National NHS, National Health, I think system or something like that, of Britain, the premier health delivery facility in UK, to build over 50 modernized clinics and hospitals in the country. The one which was commissioned by HE in Cowdrey Park, I think it's last month. The other one in Southly Park. We are having a lot of them in districts and across provinces in Zimbabwe. That contract was signed and it's paid for. We were crying that there is no cancer machines and whatsoever. Go to Parenya, go to Mpilo, you'll see them. And we completed it should be 100 million warehouse for medication. We have done a deal with a tobacco company to manufacture tablets in Zimbabwe. There's so much happening. Go to our hospitals now, the government hospitals, they are working 24 hours. And medication is being found there in pharmacies. Across the nation, there's pharmacy in every place right now.
Okay, what I want you, Mr. Jonas, to understand is there are things that are said at a very high level, but there are things that you see on the streets. There is a young doctor who just died from Mutare. When he was in Mutare, you know the story, it went international because there was no way to transport him. There was no ICU at Mutare General Hospital. Every day, people are dying in Zimbabwe because President Mnangagwa does not have a plan for healthcare. Is that not the fact?
Okay. That's not a fact. That's another prophecy. I told you that more people died in terms of percentage in the US more than Zimbabwe. When US, in terms of COVID-19, when US is considered having the best health system in the world, what is your response to that?
Okay, so why did that young doctor die?
Are you saying there's a country that has got a death proof?
No, there was no ICU there by Mutare. They had to fly him to Harare. And they paid their own money, 5,000, because the government does not have an ambulance. They don't have any. If you are sick right now, Mr. Jonas, if you have an accident in the Mbulawa or Mutare, you're going to die if you're not near an ICU because you need those services. They are not there.
So you mean that because I'm not dead now, I've never been sick?
No, I'm just giving you an example so that you know. Next time when you travel on the road, I've had people, friends in Zimbabwe, who have died because at an accident scene, it took hours for an ambulance to arrive. And when it arrives, there's no medication. You should go to
wait.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Wait. I want to answer in terms of you talked about a doctor who died in Mutare. Let me prove to you that story you are saying, according to your own words, it's a false stuff. Let me prove to you. The same economy you are saying is in shambles, and the president doesn't have a plan. Is the same economy you are saying the family of the doctor paid $5,000 to fly him to Harare. And in rands, that is 100,000 rands. And I would put it to you that in Mutare, there are private hospitals. If you have got a patient to denounce anything government, there are private hospitals. And I would put it to you on record that $5,000 is enough for someone to get good medical attention, even in a private hospital in Manicaland. Now, where do we get the $5,000 when you say no one is employed and the economy is in shambles? It then comes back to prove that your condemnation of the economy is unfounded.
Yeah, that is because you are outsourcing President Mnangagwa's responsibility to the citizens. That is the problem that is happening in Zimbabwe. Everything that the government is supposed to do, they are giving it to the citizens to take care of. So right now, people are supposed to go to Zambia and look for education. They're supposed to come to South Africa to look for jobs. They're supposed to find their own hospital to go and get treated. What is it that President Mnangagwa is doing in Zimbabwe?
Thank you. President Mnangagwa made Pardon Gambakwe a graduate at Nasti University in Kobulawayo. And he is not a Zambian graduate. President Mnangagwa graduated in Zambia even before independence. And you are not even, and as a graduate from Zambia, he came back to Zimbabwe to become a president. Maybe those who graduated in Zambia, they bring a lot of value to the country, considering our president is a former graduate. So I'm sitting here. I was educated for free by what they call social welfare, a facility by the government of Zimbabwe. Right now, it's called the BIM. And our Prophet Gambakwe doesn't understand and know that there are so many people who are getting education from our government here. And most of them are the so-called defenders of human rights, the so-called opposition leaders. So it's unfortunate, Mr. Gambakwe. I will pray for you to love Zimbabwe, so that you don't mention Zambia. You are a Zimbabwean, and you are even proud. When I meet you in Harare, I find you very in good mood to everything. You know, the Gambakwe life and the Gambakwe I mingle with in the streets of Harare. The distinction is too much. It's miraculous.
Okay, Mr. Jonas, I think we've done half a job here. I wanted to really go deep into what President Mnangagwa was supposed to do, and it's been a very great disappointment to me, especially when it comes to the economy. I expected the President Mnangagwa to do much better. He has not done well in terms of, in my view, and his last term.
Wait. Because you are talking about the economy and disappointment, I want to give you an opportunity to talk in terms of our current account, mention statistics of economy. Don't generalize and then bastardize a leader basing on opinions and prophecy. Economy has got statistics. Can you, Mr. Gambakwe, with my respect, with my audience, can you mention facts, statistics of our economy, so that I can allow you to praise the president?
All right. I don't want us to be too big and too high. I want us to be low level. So look at the salary of a civil servant in Zimbabwe. The civil servants, last week wait.
I want you to talk about economy. Economy, you'll be mentioning about our current account. You'll be talking about surplus. You'll be talking about our GDP. How many industries were okay? Talk about the economy. Let's leave industry. Talk about
can you do that? That's macroeconomy. Can we do that another day? Because I want to present to you the figures. When it comes to macroeconomics, President Mnangagwa has done even worse. I'm going to prove that to you next time. We can't do it.
Okay.
But I want to go into macroeconomics. Yeah.
Mr. Gambakwe, I like it when you say you're going to bring the figures one day. In the absence of figures, can you then go mute?
But how much is the civil servant earning in Zimbabwe now?
Okay, so are you saying our whole economy will be summarized into a salary of a civil servant?
Correct. That is what people take home. So a civil servant, a teacher, a policeman, a soldier, their salary is less than $100. No. I think, Mr. Gambakwe, you okay? Did you see any pay slip of a civil servant? Of course, I do. I've got relatives who are civil servants.
Wait today. Don't use the word less than or whatever. Tell me the figure you saw on a pay slip of a teacher.
Okay, a teacher right now, as we speak, is earning $80.
All right. You saw $8 as in USD, right?
$80.
What other figure you saw? Because there must be at least two figures. Tell me another figure to prove to me that you saw a payslip.
But what's the point? What is $100 a whole father?
Wait. Don't answer my question with a question.
Yes.
I say there must be at least 2 figures on a payslip of Zimbabwe, of a teacher in Zimbabwe. Tell me another figure. It's for
No, that's all I remember. I don't remember any other figures.
Mr. Gambakwe, from your delivery, you never saw a payslip of a teacher. You are just prophesizing. Tonight, I'm dealing with not a journalist, but a prophet. Can you admit you never saw a payslip of it?
You don't want to admit that life in Zimbabwe is hard. Your president has not delivered on the basic things that he promised. Yeah.
Mr. Gambakwe, I respected you, I'm respecting you, and I will continue respecting you. You are a very smart Zimbabwean. So no matter how you mess up in this discussion, you're trying to role play as a prophet, but I would still see a smart Gambakwe. I will never be tempted to see a prophet. Tell me, do you admit you never read a payslip?
Mr. Jonas, you're trying to run away from the facts. Okay.
No.
Let's not make this whole thing about the payslip. Let me explain to you what we should do. Let's challenge.
Wait.
Let's challenge a teacher. Let's challenge a teacher to give me their payslip right now. They can send it to me, and we display it right now.
Okay.
I mean, right now, this moment, I put my number on the screen, and a teacher sends us a payslip now, and we display it.
Wait. Before a payslip is sent now for display, do you admit you never read a payslip of it?
But I'm asking that let's send one now, and let's do it.
Oh, I know, I understand there's a process of displaying a payslip, but from your $80, do you agree you never read a payslip of a teacher?
What's the problem? There's my number. A teacher send me a payslip. Soldier send me a payslip. Police send me a payslip. And let's see if President Mnangagwa is delivering on those salaries.
Wait, you are already now outsourcing for assistance with a payslip, admitting that you never saw one. It's so
because you don't want to admit that life is hard in Zimbabwe. It's difficult for people. This thing that the ZANU-PF government is doing, it's not managing an economy. They are putting a plan called NDS1 that is good, and they deliver nothing out of that plan. That is the fact.
When you say nothing, even media freedom is part of NDC Vision 2030. And of recent, do you know how you are bashing ZANU-PF and the government of Zimbabwe? And as I'm talking, this discussion it's a delivery of Vision 2030. Because I am from ZANU-PF, and these days I don't know where your motivation comes from. The energy to bash ZANU-PF, it's so. If you take that into production of kids in your family, I think you can create an empire. But
I never bashed ZANU-PF. I just said the facts. It's nothing to do with bashing.
You know why? Throughout this discussion, you have never produced any facts. No fact, no statistics. That's called bashing. That's called pushing a narrative. Nothing is factual about you. You talk about GNU, you talk about this, you talk about Sadak, Ibo Mandaza, a psychiatric patient. Ibo Mandaza represent nothing except people who want to make money from politics. And the Gambakwe media is based on speculative analysis and the predictions. I know one day you are going to make sure to be to base everything on the doctrine of correctness, which is based on facts and statistics. I'm happy that you are still waiting for a payslip. You know why they are not sending a payslip? Because the salary there is much higher than what you said.
Okay, you are saying the salaries are higher, right? You find me a payslip of a teacher, a policeman, and a soldier, and I'll correct myself tomorrow if you can get me those ones.
I'm happy your triple C lunatics are not sending right now. You want the help from ZANU-PF? Don't worry, ZANU-PF will help you as we do the whole nation. Triple C won't produce the paper.
All right. So I think we're way over the time. We're supposed to be here for 30 minutes, but we're almost an hour. So, Mr. Jonas, I know you vigorously defend President Mnangagwa, and let's agree to disagree. On my side, I'm not impressed. President Mnangagwa has not delivered on NDS1 at all. And you say he has delivered on NDS1. And you say, I don't have the numbers. You have the numbers. So let's park this. And next time, we're going to go on the macroeconomics. Zambia much better than Zimbabwe. And our next topic will be how Zambia is doing much better than Zimbabwe. And you defend your Zimbabwe, and I'll defend Zambia. I'm going to move to Zambia and live there because it's a better country to live in than Zimbabwe. Is there anything else you want to say before you close?
I hope even our birth certificate, ID, and passport, you are going to surrender. I pray.
I will ask President Hakainde Hichilema to give me a Zambian birth certificate, a Zambian ID, Zambian what do you call Zambian passport. If this continues, what's happening in Zimbabwe, I won't even come there.
Okay, I'm happy that you are saying it in front of everyone who is progressive, and they are listening to you. And yeah, the future would prove you right or me wrong. Zimbabwe is a friend to none. Sorry, Zimbabwe is an enemy to none and a friend to all. And in ZANU-PF, we live in no place and no one behind. But those who wish to be citizens of other countries, we don't have a problem with them. But ZANU-PF is welcoming, and no one would be frozen. Your citizenship, Mr. Gambakwe, is very safe with the ZANU-PF and the government of Zimbabwe. So, so is everyone. Even Chamisa is safe in Zimbabwe. No matter the young man is a daydreamer, and probably and he will never be a president in our lifetime, because Zimbabwe will never, no one in Zimbabwe would allow the country to be in the hands of a traitor, of a sellout. So if Triple C people are listening to me, I'm saying this on authority. Chamisa 2028, 2033, Chamisa will never be a president of this country.
Okay, I don't want to prolong the conversation, so I think let's bring this to an end. Mr. Jonas, it was a pleasure having you. Next week, you challenge me to that macroeconomic discussion with Zambia and Zimbabwe. We'll do it, and enjoy your week. We'll be touching on a lot of issues this week, and tomorrow we're looking at the developments at the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe, where President Mnangagwa is likely to appoint a new governor, as Dr. Mangudya's term is coming to an end. And we'll probably look at issues in the banking sector. There's a lot there that I want to talk about. If you watch that,
I'll highlight this to you. Zimbabwe has adopted a currency that is backed by gold. And I would highlight more, I would clarify more in our next chapter, discussion of economy. And it's a game-changing fiscal or monetary policy.
Okay, let's see what I say tomorrow. Thank you very much, Mr. Jonas, and good night, everybody.
Prophet Gambakwe, I receive.
Uyo, uko, kuno, abo, ano, mamu wanna get it, nai. I know who meso.